and welcome to my hometown of Alvaiazere. Where's Alvaiazere, here you say? Well, if you look on the map of Portugal, it's more or less in the centre. To the north lies Coimbra, to the south lies Tomar. For a town of this size, it's got quite good facilities. You've got a healthcare centre, you've got a private hospital, swimming pools, sports centres, supermarkets, petrol stations, and of course the ubiquitous cafes spread all around. And as a base to live, it's quite good because you don't really have to go too far for your daily needs. Now, the monument behind me celebrates 500 years of Market Street in Portugal, but life here existed a long time before that. So let's go and have a look at that. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a place called Rega de Murta. We're going back to approximately 3500 BC. The original inhabitants of this land were probably nomadic in their lifestyle. They would move into an area, take some of the resources and move on to the next area. Now, the ideal aspects of this land is you have valleys, which were probably inhabited within the summer months, and then you get the Seago Mountains, which are high and highly defensible positions. But these people were probably the oldest possible traceable people living in this district. But you can find evidence of this in the local museum, where they've got a fantastic display of bits and pieces found here, and it tells us a lot about the original inhabitants. So these people, the ancient people of these lands, probably the predecessors of the Lusitanians, lived here, farmed here, died quite happily for many thousands of years, until one day the Romans turned up, and that was set to change everything. It was set to change the way they farmed, what they ate, the way they lived, and a big massive cultural difference to what they were used to. So let's move on to that next. So we're not going to talk too long about the Romans. We all know what they did and how they changed the world. But here particularly, olives, grapes were developed, and that still is largely the case here. It's probably one of the major industries, along with newer industries like forestry, which brings in a lot of money. But just down the road from where I'm standing now, there lies an old Roman settlement. It hasn't been excavated, but it's supposed to be one of the biggest in the country. And this shows you the importance of the place where I now live, basically. It was a centre for exchange of messages, goods, posts. So it became an intersection for the whole country, basically, north to south. And that's how the town developed. So we've moved into the shade now, because it's blisteringly hot out there. Proper Alvaiazere weather. But we did talk about the Romans there briefly, and obviously the Romans did make a lot of changes. The next people to come along were the Moors, and this is where Alvaiazere got its name from. Originally it was Alvaiaz, which I'm reliably told means the land of the falconer. And you can tell in some of the architecture still there is that Moorish influence. And life was happy, and things have changed very little really as you move through the succession of the next invaders. You had the French and the Spanish, and right up to the Revolution it's always been agricultural and rural here. But now in the 21st century that is beginning to change a little. So I'd like just really to talk about that a little bit more in detail. Look at that, that's nice, isn't it? That's lovely, that's really, really lovely. Now listen, we've talked about the past. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about Alvaiazere now. Now, while I've been here, which has been for 6 years now, I've seen subtle investments, I've seen changes. This very park where I'm standing now has had a multi-million-pound facelift, an investment to gain facilities, picnic areas, etc. We're having a new school built. We've had developments to the main prasa in the square there by the council houses. Subtle things have happened, and you know that that is a good thing. That is a town on the up. It is a positive thing. And I always think that's great because you know there's a future there. So let's end on a high note. Let's end on a positive. Let's end Alvaiazere is a great place to be.